trick! Welcome back to GateSlashers. Today's recording takes place in one of the scariest settings there is. The suburbs. I came in to check on my old pal Michael Myers at the Smith Grove Psychiatric Hospital. That poor fellow's been locked up there since that fateful Halloween 40 years ago. Don't worry though, after my visit I made sure to leave the door unlocked on my way out. Right on cue. See, a little known fact about Michael Myers is that his favorite Starfleet captain is Kirk. Yeah, he made that choice on his own. Well, on to today's episode. Today's hosts were a real steal. I had to pop up to the Great White North to grab Reagan, and I went over to Wales to grab Ethan. Jake? Now Jake was easy to snatch. Just texted him from Dan's phone after he left it after he got away in Texas. Don't worry though. No one eludes the grave robber for long. I'll leave it to the hosts for today, though. I've got to be making my way to Camp Blood. Word of advice. Don't take any babysitting jobs on Halloween.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
GateSlashers.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Did he just leave?
We're definitely locked in this basement. Great.
I knew being friends with Dan would lead to something like this.
Might as well record the show.
Hey, let's have some cue cards.
Here goes nothing. Welcome to GateSlashers, a podcast dedicated to chainsawing through the door to your next favourite thing. Our mission, our creed, our code is this: to make everything scary more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a fear that you'll fall in love with. That's odd. My name's Ethan. My pronouns are he, him.
I'm Jake. I use he, him pronouns as well.
I'm Reagan, and I use she, her, and they, them pronouns.
So,
what are we talking about? What's going on?
Well,
What are we talking about today?
Before we get into that, we need to talk about that we are stuck in a basement.
Yeah, that's pretty not fun. I've never been a huge fan of basements. At least it's not an unfinished basement.
Yeah,
That's pretty nice.
Those are creepy. I mean, like, yeah, there's some nice stuff in here. I mean,
there's a couch.
like
there's
there's a
couch.
look at a little heater. A little heater in the corner.
Yeah.
A little heater.
I mean,
There are walls.
guys, when people tell me to just record a podcast, I just go right into podcasting mode. I'm not really registering. I'm just dissociating. I'm just here to record this podcast because that's what this whole podcast thing was built around, dissociating in dire situations. Wait, no, that's not correct. Podcasts are supposed to be happy-go-lucky times, akin to radio.
Is radio all that happy?
Wait, do we have a radio in this basement?
We have,
think so.
I don't, do we?
I don't know. I'm still confused how I got you from Wales.
Probably magic.
There's no such thing as magic.
Yeah, there is. Don't destroy my dreams.
Well,
Okay.
Megan dreams of magic.
Okay, so
Well, we're stuck in his basement. But yeah, let's go into this podcast. Welcome back to GateSlashers. That's the worst radio voice I've ever done.
Yes, Jake, please stop.
Please do the rest of this in a shock jock voice.
Please don't. Please don't.
Come on, everybody. I am a professional podcaster. We'll be fine. So, some of these cue. Okay. So this cue card says Halloween.
The
like Halloween.
the films, yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's
I
got
love
2
the
dates on
Halloween
it. It's
movies.
got the 1978 and
Masterpiece.
We'll get into that.
2018, is that?
Yeah, that's what this card says. Yeah, so I guess we're talking about that.
Yeah,
I can do that.
nothing like spending some quality time with Michael Myers.
No, yeah, Mikey.
Mikey.
Mikey Myers.
Yeah, so I guess there's a back of the box blurb card, and I guess there's a brief history. Why are 20 fucking cards about the history of this topic? Who did this? Why would anyone do this to me?
Somebody who probably knows a lot about the franchise and cares a lot about it, probably put a lot of time and effort into writing out
Have
the
you
history
been
of
on
something that they
GateSlashers
love.
before?
So, Jake, why did you kick us off with the back of a box blurb?
Well, it appears that Halloween is a series of horror films centering around serial killer Michael Myers and his terror sprees on the town of Haddonfield. And I guess he likes to go after this one lady a lot.
Yeah, Laurie Strode.
He-
Gotta love a bit of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, she's a treasure. So then we also got these brief history cards. I guess I'll hand out the
brief.
this first one to Ethan, and we'll just kind of, I'll take the second one.
Yeah.
Reagan, you take the third, and then we'll repeat.
Okay.
Man, these are really some long cue cards.
Yeah, I mean, these are like those ones that people fill out when they're told, "Hey, you can have a single card for this test as a cheat sheet." Granted, I never used those things. I just outright cheated. I did. Well, yes, Ethan. We assumed that's how the Welsh operate.
I just guessed.
Yeah, but these look like one of those cards that somebody who really cares and really wants to do well. These are really just. I mean, we got to use magnifying glasses on these. There's so much goddamn information in every paragraph. Yeah, but Ethan, go ahead.
Okay, so this first cue card. In 1978, the first film in what would become one of the biggest franchises in horror premiered. Halloween, directed by John Carpenter and written by Carpenter and Deborah Hill, follows Laurie Strode, a teenage babysitter living in Haddonfield, Illinois, as she and her friend are stalked by a masked killer named Michael Myers, an escapee of a nearby sanitarium who had been imprisoned there for 15 years after killing his sister at the age of 6. Over the course of Halloween night, Michael stalks his prey until only Laurie remains, leaving her the sole survivor of a massacre.
Well, that's certainly something. And in 1981, the sequel, Halloween 2, was released. Picking up immediately after the original ended, the sequel follows Laurie as Michael continues his hunt, following her to Haddonfield Hospital, where he continues his massacre by butchering the staff. Directed by Rick Rosenthal, Halloween 2 was co-written by Carpenter and Hill with the intention that it would be the conclusion to the story of Michael and Laurie. Something that was true when Tommy Lee Wallace's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, a movie about an evil Irishman, I'm offended, who wants to turn children's heads into bugs using pieces of Stonehenge, was released. I am offended by my Irish blood. I apologize to all of Ireland that you had to go through that. This is upsetting, and you shouldn't do that. We are a proud people. We are good people. And Stonehenge, I'm pretty sure that's not in Ireland.
It's not.
Exactly. All right, Reagan, take the next paragraph before I get upset.
After the critical failure of Halloween 3, Michael Myers returned in 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, directed by Dwight H. Little, a film which kicked off a trilogy that continued with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, directed by Dominique Ossenen-Girard, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, directed by Joe Chappelle, in 1989 and 1995, respectively. That trilogy, called the Thorn Trilogy, would reveal the origin of Michael's evil. Druids.
All right. Me and Ethan have a problem with this.
Why do I have a problem?
Because you're a Celt.
We get after stuff.
Oh, that's right, because you Britons fell off.
Yeah.
And that's why you got taken over. And that's why the Irish are an independent country today. Because of our proud Jewish, I was trying to say Druid heritage.
Do you want me to make a note that Dan needs to edit that out?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, God, no, it's to stay it in.
Yes. I'm defending my people here. Screw these movies even more.
Ethan, do you want to take the next paragraph?
Yeah, sure. None of that would matter 2 years later when Halloween H20, H2O, 20 years later, directed by Steve Miner.
To me.
Directed by Steve Miner, a movie that I'm still not 100% sure how to pronounce, would be released as a celebration of the 20th anniversary of the original film. In the first of two instances of a franchise retcon in the timeline, H2O acted as a sequel to the first two movies. Laurie Strode, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder following her encounter with Michael, has faked her death and started working at a boarding school under an assumed name.
After, is it Halloween 20 or H2O?
I call it H2O.
I call it H20.
Halloween 20 came 2000s. After that, H2O came 2002's Halloween Resurrection, directed by returning director Rick Rosenthal. In Resurrection, Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks set up a reality show in Michael's childhood home where people have to spend the night in order to figure out what caused him to kill. Well, these are Last Girl movies, so therefore it was because his sister had a boy over and they got horny. And that's how those, how Last Girl movies work. Power virgins.
You're so wrong.
I'm not.
No, you're not. I mean, you are.
You already admitted I'm not wrong, so I'm going to keep going. Understandably, Myers isn't pleased about people traipsing around his childhood home for the entire internet to see. 2002, I'll remind you. Following Resurrection, 2 Rob Zombie directed remakes were released in 2007 and 2009, which explored Michael's childhood and the aftermath of his attacks. And for you, little Uzi, a Rob Zombie poster.
God damn it, Jake.
What? What'd I do? What did I do?
After the remakes, the Halloween franchise would go through its longest dormant period yet, with 9 years between Halloween 2 from 2009 and Halloween from 2018. Directed by David Gordon Green, a direct sequel to the first movie released almost exactly 40 years later that focused on... Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm out of breath.
I mean, I don't know how you're out of breath. We're stuck in this basement.
Been running around the basement.
Yeah, it was really odd. We were in the middle of recording and you just kind of went off.
Insane.
A direct sequel to the first movie released almost exactly 40 years later that focused on how the events of Halloween 1978 impacted Laurie into her adulthood and the ramifications on her family life. The movie marked the first time John Carpenter had direct involvement in this franchise since Season of the Witch in 1982. Halloween 2018, and this is in all caps, which was co-written by Danny McBride, was seen as a return to form for the franchise, with critics and fans alike finding it the best of the Halloween sequels.
Hell yeah,
Is
Danny
the
McBride's
Grave
in
Robber
caps.
a big Danny McBride fan?
I think so.
Must be.
Maybe.
Anyway, let me
Danny
cap this
McBride
off.
stan.
Let me cap this off. Looks like we've got a tiny bit left on the history cue cards. Now, Michael, Laurie, and her family are set to return in Halloween Kills when Michael and Laurie face off once again, this time with the town of Haddonfield on Laurie's side. Man, that was a lot of cue cards.
Yeah, that was a lot of cue cards, and there's
So many.
still more of them. There's this Who May Like This and Where to Get It.
The Grave Robber must really love this series.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Where to Get It. It says Shudder for the original, and a few of them. There's a lot of these movies. It seems like a lot of them aren't on anything. And it says 2018
iTunes.
rent on Amazon Prime Video.
Or just like
Oh,
in
I think it's on
your
it's
stores.
on Netflix too.
That might be a Canadian thing.
That might be
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah, it's on Netflix in Canada.
Yeah, it's not on Netflix here. In the US.
Netflix hates Danny McBride, confirmed.
Okay, break in the episode. All right. Welcome back to GateCrashers. We just finished our break after part 1 of the episode. So let's talk about these movies.
Let's not start off with you, Jake.
Well,
Oh yeah, that's not it.
So,
I got notes.
okay,
I
I'm sure you do. Reagan, what do you think of these films?
I love them.
Well, hold on.
They're
Let's
my
go one
favorite
by
horror
one. Let's go
movies.
one movie by the other.
Okay, so Reagan, what do you
Okay.
think of 1978?
I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's one of the most influential horror movies like ever. But it's also just like it's a really well done, suspenseful, like slow moving horror movie. And like just the camera work when you look at it, it's incredible. Like Dean Cundy, the cinematographer, did a great job. And then he went and did cinematography on Jack and Jill.
That classic.
But like he also did like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like to give you an idea of like how good he is.
Yeah, well, that is a very well
Yeah.
shot film.
Yeah.
I'd rather have watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Go on, then, Jake. What did you think of 1978?
Oh my god. I did not enjoy this movie at all. It seemed like nothing happens for the first hour of it. Yeah. God. I understand it had a small budget, but all horror movies had a small budget at this point. Like, the acting could have been smarter. The pacing could have been better. This movie could have been half as long. It's not good. I'm sorry, Reagan. I have
It's
no.
already 91 minutes. What more do you want?
Things to happen.
Things do happen.
Yeah, at the 1 hour mark where he finally kills someone. He finally kills the little one friend who's bull. It's barely suspenseful.
It's about the atmosphere.
And that's poorly done too.
Okay, let me hop in with my thoughts.
Go ahead.
So, this is a masterpiece. That's undeniable.
Thank you.
It is deniable.
Jake, let me finish. It's a masterpiece. That's undeniable. The score is incredible.
The score is good. I will give it that.
Every time it kicks in, the 1,000 times it kicks in throughout the film, I'm just vibing so hard. It's great. Michael, when he is going about killing, is genuinely scary, but it is showing its age.
It aged like milk.
It hasn't aged like milk. It's shown its age, and it's clearly shown if it is of a time. But
I
it is
will admit,
but it is a masterpiece.
I will admit that when viewed through the lens of the movies that it inspired, it doesn't hold up to them in terms of the fact that it's not as like crazy as some of Friday the 13th, or Michael doesn't have as much personality as like Freddy, but it's still really good.
Okay, so why do we...
I think it's important to know that I've never seen these movies before this week. I have I was only put on this episode according to these cue cards as Control Group Jake, whatever that's supposed to mean. This movie didn't do anything for me.
That's fair.
I thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre did a better job, and I didn't really like that movie.
Didn't Dan message you about that where you escaped a recording of that or something last week?
Huh?
Wasn't Dan kidnapped or something last week? Got something to do with Texas Chainsaw?
How many of these podcasts have you listened to? How many times me and Dan have been kidnapped? I can't keep track of all that.
That's very true.
I mean, I once got kidnapped. I think I got kidnapped by Santa Claus.
He does seem like the type.
Granted, I don't think it was Santa Claus. Dan swears by it. Yeah.
So before
let's talk about this Danny McBride one.
So Halloween 2018.
We haven't even...
Much better film. Things actually happen in this movie.
That is true.
Lots of things happen in this movie. He actually goes on killing people. Granted, I do have my problems with this franchise. But this movie is a lot better. I want to talk about the babysitter that babysitter scene. The little boy.
The greatest character in this franchise.
Yes, the best. That's what I want to talk about. Talking about, oh man, you guys are just gonna come over here and smoke some weed. Talk about your Alakazam. Well, what is that? What a great character, and I'm glad he survives and gets the police.
Jake, he's coming back.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be in the mob?
Yeah.
Because I know that's what the Halloween Kills is about, right? It's a mob.
It is, yeah. Mob hunted
Yeah,
Michael.
Yeah, they go. Granted, I don't know how Michael survives the end of this movie because he gets trapped in a basement and then everything is set on fire. Spoilers if you hadn't seen this movie. But you know the rules of this podcast. After the break, I can talk about whatever I want. What else did I say? Michael hates podcasts.
He's honestly right.
I want to ask you too. How'd you feel about the fact that Michael took the time to make a human jack-o'-lantern?
That's totally in line with something that happens in the original movie. When he puts the ghost costume on.
Wait, he does the ghost costume on the girl.
So in the original movie, Michael puts the ghost costume on after killing the one guy and going to kill the girl.
See, I don't know if I'd say that's
I think
in line.
It's him having fun.
Michael can be a dramatic bitch when he wants to be.
He can. Mikey can be so dramatic. But yeah, they're good movies, guys.
I like them.
I love them.
I have so many problems with this.
The original Halloween was the first horror movie I ever saw.
Well, here's the thing. That's you might, if you haven't seen these films from an early age or have any nostalgia to them, you might not like them.
Yeah,
that is fair. Yeah,
it is true.
Because I'm never going to return to these. I will not.
I return every year. I'm
just going to be sitting, waiting for Halloween and then being like, awesome. tomorrow's my birthday. Better call my grandmother because it's also her birthday. But yeah, so why'd the doctor kill the cop? And why did that doctor have that super fake knife letter opener? Just like, was he planning that? Did he cause the wreck?
Yeah, Sartain wanted Michael to be out so he could study him to understand him.
Yeah.
See, I think I liked Loomis's ideas better of just thinking he was crazy, a monster, evil.
I think Sartain is a really interesting like foil to Loomis in that like he doesn't understand Michael, but he wants to. Whereas Loomis understands Michael and knows that there's nothing to understand, that he needs to be stopped. Meanwhile, Sartain wants to see him out in the wild so he can study him and figure him out when there's nothing to figure out because there is nothing.
Yeah, no. Michael has no personality.
And that's on purpose.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So I have my big problem with the franchise is there's not really rules to how Michael goes about things. And there's no rules governing Michael's body. Like Michael is just a guy and he gets shot, stabbed, and he survives it all without any real problems or any like consequence. Like he should have died in the first movie several times over, and in this in 2018.
So this is where the druids come in.
Oh, right. What the hell was that?
Okay.
So obviously, if we go on the 2018 timeline, none of this happened.
Which we are. So that doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter, but it's also insane.
And we're not going over the other timeline where Laurie is his sister.
Okay, so that was entirely because the studio wanted a twist. Carpenter and Deborah Hill were just like,
they wanted a motivation for the character.
Yeah. A character who's not supposed to have motivations.
That bothers me even more, not having motivations. Yeah. So, Reagan, you probably have a lot more thoughts, which you can share.
I have so many thoughts.
Yeah, go off.
I will listen.
There's a scene in the 2018 one. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing. It's when he pauses near the crib. And there's that moment where you're like, oh no, is he about to kill? Like, are we about to see him kill a baby? And just that 1 second where you think it could happen is such effective horror from like basically nothing.
Well, I mean, he killed Lumpy already.
Yeah. But it's interesting, but it's also in most of the movies, Michael doesn't kill any kids. He only kills like teens and adults. And
I would say Lumpy was a kid. and that kid just wanted to be in dance class.
Yeah. No, I'm about to say that kid is like, he's the only kid that I think Michael's killed in the movies that are relevant now.
Well, I mean, there's only technically 2 movies that are relevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that that's a choice that's made.
Poor Lumpy.
I think
probably because Lumpy had a gun.
Maybe. I think Michael stealing cars and just knowing how to drive them is very funny.
Yeah.
He's been institutionalized since he was 6, but he knows how to drive a car.
Yeah, that's something. I
love it. I mean,
he certainly does a lot more in this movie. Like if you're gonna watch these movies, just watch this one.
Yeah, this one. The
you don't need to watch
one is definitely like.
Just know that the original one, he caused a lot of trauma for Laurie.
Yeah,
that's all you really need to know.
2018 is definitely like a Halloween made for modern audiences. In that there's more kills, there's more violence, stuff like that.
More of the fun stuff.
Yeah. The scores. Let's talk about the scores again because they're so good.
Yeah. Again, John Carpenter just going full bore with his synth. You've got to love to see it.
I love it.
So, Jake, you have to admit the score in
Oh, no, I said the score was
1978. Yes.
It's the only good part about the first one.
There's
The budget wasn't. I mean, yeah, I understand the budget was small. I understand they couldn't do a lot, but there was a lot of stuff they could have done.
Yeah, I love the 2018 one, and I want to dig into a bunch of moments, but I love the score in the final scene when the house is burning. It's just going off the wall in that scene. Is insane how good
I am
it is.
curious to know if Halloween Kills is literally just like right after this.
It is.
So it's not a different it's not a different year. It's the same day.
It's the same day. It's the same evening.
Okay,
Right.
that's the only way that could work. But granted, he's in a house on fire and trapped in a basement. I wonder how he gets out. I mean,
So you've not seen the trailer for Kills, have you, Jake?
no, I only just finished watching this movie before I was kidnapped.
No, that's right. No, just because it does, in the trailer, it does show sort of how it happens. So, but yeah.
I mean, she looked like she did a good job on that trap, but also, why does she have so many mannequins? I get it. She's using them to shoot, but why so many?
It's just a funky little interior decoration thing.
Yeah. I mean, also, why did Dad have to die?
Oh, Toby Huss, one of my favourite actors, just dying for no reason. Hurts to see.
I think.
What was the martial art he said he knew? Was it jujitsu?
I think so.
I think, sorry, I'm just going through like the names of each of the tracks from the score to try and figure out which one I wanted to talk about.
While you do that, I just want to mention one thing about the dad.
Sorry.
His line reading of, "Oh nuts, I got sauce on my penis."
That was great.
Oh, that's so good.
And then he changes it to hand at the end of when he leaves the room.
Go on, Reagan.
So the shape, like Michael has a specific sting that you hear over and over again in movies. And the first time that you hear it in 2018 is at the start of the track, The Shape Returns, which is immediately after he gets the mask back. And I think that's just such an interesting little thing. I also
he goes
really
on a tear.
Yeah.
Oh, he does. Not the first time he's gone on a tear in a gas station in the franchise.
I mean, there's only two
Rob
movies.
Zombie.
Oh, well, yeah, it's because it's Rob Zombie.
Okay, look. Those movies were the first Rob Zombie movies I ever watched. And I thought because of that, I hated Rob Zombie. It's like directing. Turns out I like it.
And for you, little Uzi, a Rob Zombie poster.
I revisited those two recently, and they're not as bad as I thought they were.
2 is
They're
fascinating.
pretty decent.
2 is a fascinating film.
It is.
Don't know if I call it good, but it's fascinating.
They're both they've got fascinating things. I think going into Michael's childhood was a mistake. And I think anytime a Halloween movie tries to rationalize him or explain him, it's a mistake. Because doing that is trying to put a personality basically on something that isn't supposed to have one. And it's just I don't know. If you want a slasher with a personality, go watch Scream or watch
any of them
Nightmare
else.
on Elm Street. Go watch Nightmare on Elm Street if you want a slasher who's the protagonist.
So, speaking of protagonists, let's talk about Laurie.
Laurie, wife.
God. If we're just going off of 2018, she's so good.
She is. Jamie Lee Curtis is great. Yeah, I think Halloween was like her first role, like ever too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And yeah, she did Halloween, and then she followed it up with The Fog and Prom Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what the hell was that?
There's
That
clearly
was my
something going.
fist.
There's something in his basement. Jesus.
Yeah, it sounds like something's coming from upstairs. Yeah, I'm so used to seeing Jamie Lee Curtis with short hair that I barely recognized her in either film.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm
true.
used to seeing her in Activia commercials, so I didn't know she acted. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
Halloween was her debut film.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just you know that her mom was in Psycho, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Janet Leigh. And then her dad is Tony Curtis. Or was Tony Curtis. Yeah, and then here's another one. She's married to Christopher Guest.
Yeah, she is. Fucking love Christopher Guest.
Just what a family. Technically, that makes Jamie Lee Curtis nobility.
It does.
And we all know how Ethan feels about nobility. As a Welshman, he he just starts hissing.
I want to talk about the moment at the end of 2018 with Judy Greer when she's
I love Judy Greer.
When she's got the gun ready to shoot Michael, and there's a moment where she just clicks and shoots him in the face.
Yeah, he gets shot in the face and he lives.
Yeah, he does.
And he's fine. He's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He's not like he didn't already have his shoulder blown out and his hand blown off.
It's the William Shatner mask. It just stops anything
I think
coming
he
at
also
him.
he also got his eye poked out with a knitting needle in the first one.
No, that was a hanger.
Oh yeah, it was a hanger.
He got stabbed in the neck with a knitting needle. And then he got stabbed in the stomach with a knife, and then he gets shot in the chest repeatedly and falls out a window. Yeah, and then he survives.
He also gets 3 of his fingers shot off in this
that
one.
Laurie does the Michael thing where she gets up.
Yeah.
After falling.
Yeah. Because he looks back over the balcony and she's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to get another movie after Halloween Kills.
Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Fat chance.
No, that's when Rob Zombie comes back.
Yeah, he does his Halloween 2018.
Rob Zombie 2025. Let's do it.
Jake, did you have any more notes you wanted to go over?
I mean, do you want to do some Alakazam while we're in this basement?
Yeah, it could work.
I'm trying to find. Do you know what Christopher Lee was approached to play Loomis in the original?
That would have been great. I do think the guy who did. Yeah, I do think the guy who did play Loomis was a pretty good actor.
Donald Pleasance was a great actor. He played he played Blofeld in one of the early Bond films. Just for you to know.
I should watch those movies. Those seem like fun.
Christopher Lee said that turning down Halloween was one of the biggest mistakes he made during his career.
Well, Christopher Lee,
because
that was very much in line with his personality and his career path. I mean, wasn't he didn't he have like a metal album?
Yeah.
But also, did he have like a Christmas metal album?
Yeah, a Christmas metal album. He did indeed do one in his 80s.
Because he's amazing. He was amazing.
I love that.
Great.
But it's just like, when you think about how many of the sequels Donald Pleasance did, Christopher Lee would have made bank off of this franchise.
Well, yeah, he was in all of the original 6 except 3, wasn't he?
Wasn't weren't a bunch of
Pleasance's
them
last movie.
about Laurie's daughter?
Yeah,
yes,
Rebecca.
Laurie's
daughter,
and
Michael's
then also
niece.
Tommy,
The mother of Michael's child.
the kid Laurie babysits in the first one is the protagonist in I think 5 or 6. I can't remember.
He's played by Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
What?
Yeah.
Why do we watch? Hey,
bad.
Ray Robert, come here. I don't know if you can hear me, but why are you immediately watch a Paul Rudd one?
It's baby Paul
I
Rudd
like
as
Paul
well.
Rudd.
It's baby Paul Rudd. It's like early 90s
also,
Paul Rudd.
I don't
There's
care,
another
Ethan.
one where,
I like Paul Rudd.
there's one where Laurie's daughter Jamie has a kid, and it's heavily implied that it's Michael's kid.
Yeah.
He's,
again?
He's Uncle Father.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like it either.
There's a reason those films aren't part of this timeline.
Yeah.
Well,
Halloween
I'm
6
curious
is
why
double
the second one isn't a part of this timeline.
Because they didn't want to go
with siblings.
the sibling route.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where that starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about Halloween 2, though, is Michael and Loomis both die at the end of Halloween 2.
They do, and then they're both just alive in 4.
Yeah, Loomis just has a scar on his cheek from being blown up. Yeah. I wonder how many terrible children do you think came up to Laurie's house dressed as Michael?
Oh, God.
So
many.
So much Shatner.
How many people do you think got in trouble at school for wearing Michael costumes?
I mean,
Halloween.
I'd run away if I saw William Shatner's face
One of my
coming towards me.
coworkers did come in on the last Halloween dressed like Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
I got Michael Myers' costume. I wore it for Halloween one year.
Do you think that if I met William Shatner at Fan Expo, he would receive it well if I asked him what it's like having Michael Myers' face?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, probably not. I get destroyed by William Shatner.
Ooh.
I mean, that's somebody's dream. Yeah.
Not mine.
I mean, I love Captain Kirk. He's my captain for Star Trek stuff. Because he's always horny.
It's odd that he's not my favourite captain.
Yeah, it really is.
What?
It's odd.
Really
it's odd
odd
that he's not my favourite captain.
He's the best captain. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, man. These movies are good, but also stupid. I think 3 is super fun.
Oh God.
So what you're saying is you wish
bonkers.
they'd kept the idea of the anthology.
Yeah, I think that would have been really interesting.
Oh yeah, wait, did we talk about that being an anthology?
No, we didn't.
Okay, yeah. So it turns out after
2,
2, they were going to make it into a horror anthology where it was never going to go back to Michael. But
3 did really badly.
And then they just they kept the same train of thought of evil Irishman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's in the novelization of the original movie, there are references to the Druids being the source. John Carpenter hates the Irish, confirmed.
I mean,
valid.
I've seen him I think I'm pretty sure I've seen him in person. He seems like a pretty hateful person.
Hey, did you guys know,
if I'm remembering correctly, he called a woman who was interviewing him sweetheart. Oof. Aggressively. And like talking down to her.
Yeah. Do you guys know what Michael's middle name is?
Nope.
Eminem.
It's Audrey.
Oh no, I did know that.
Michael Audrey Myers.
Yes. That's why he's killing people.
Because his parents gave him a terrible name.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Could be worse. Could be named Ethan.
Wow.
Genuinely, I think the character who gets the shortest end of the stick in this franchise is Judith. Because she gets killed at the start and then nothing else. Her grave gets dug up. Michael steals her entire tombstone. But it's
Puts
like,
it on somebody's bed.
Yeah.
It's just, she never really gets mentioned beyond the prologue to the first movie.
She's mentioned in 2018.
Yeah,
mentioned, like, once or twice.
Her kill is shown in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. I don't know. She definitely doesn't like it. I don't know. So the first time I ever watched this was on TV. So it was edited for TV.
Oof.
And then I bought it on iTunes one day and was like, I'm going to show my siblings this.
Ooh.
There were so many boobs
Yeah, there are.
that weren't in the TV version.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, if you're going to watch
My
it,
siblings are 14.
watch the version with the boobs.
Yeah.
All is good. All is good advice.
Every few minutes, I'm like, wait, this wasn't. I don't remember this scene. I feel that it's worth mentioning that Danny Trejo is in the Rob Zombie movie, the first one.
Well, that's Great Robert. Great Robert. I love Danny
Trejo. Is in
Trejo.
that one. Danny Trejo, he plays a prison guard who is like buddies with Michael, and then Michael kills him.
What?
Yeah, Brad
Michael.
Dourif is in it. Brad Dourif plays the sheriff.
He does.
Malcolm McDowell is Loomis, and he does a pretty good job. Sherry Moon Zombie plays Michael's mom.
Oh god!
I'm trying to find more good ones.
Those Rob Zombie films were something.
Sid Haig plays the
we should
guy
have watched the
who
Rob
shows,
Zombie movies.
No, we shouldn't have.
No, Jake.
It's got Danny Trejo.
The Rob Zombie movies are proof that
Danny
in my
Trejo
opinion,
is a treasure, and he's the uncle to the Spy Kids.
Speaking of Spy Kids, the guy who played Junie in Spy Kids is in the first Rob Zombie movie and is Michael's first murder.
Come on.
He beats him to death with a stick.
Come on. I can't make this little Uzi joke again.
You can't, Jake.
I've already said it, 3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much. But they're also like egregiously Rob Zombie.
They are. They sort
like it's so bad. They did make the very good choice of making Michael Myers massive. Because the guy who played Sabretooth plays him.
He's a big boy.
Wait, which version? Which Sabretooth? The original one?
Give me a minute.
I think it's the original one. I don't think it's Lev Schreiber.
Tyler Mane. Yeah, Sabretooth. He played him in X-Men.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 6 feet 9 inches. And he's just playing Michael.
God,
he's a big guy.
So big.
What big boy.
Big boy.
Big boy.
Big boy. Oh, but yeah, no. Weird Al Yankovic is in the second one.
He is.
As
what?
himself.
Great Robert. Great Robert.
No, Jake, I can't stress enough just how Rob Zombie these movies are.
I don't.
It's like
care.
The most
this
Rob Zombie movie
awesome.
Ever.
These sound awesome.
Not.
Well, guess Jake's gonna have to go watch those now.
I'm not going to watch those. But if I had to be forced to watch these, I would rather watch the Rob Zombie.
I don't think you would.
I wouldn't know any better. I'm the control. I wouldn't know. I mean, I would probably be like, why is this one movie called H2O?
What?
Yeah, but it's wet. But like,
Jim
there was
Cooler
no
wet.
water in these movies.
I think was there water in H2O? There's one where I think H2O is the one where Laurie beheads Michael.
It is. And then and then it turns out that it wasn't actually Michael in the next film.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's
then-
just a dude in a costume.
And then Michael throws Laurie off a roof. And kills
It's-
her. And then Buster Rhymes
These
is
are
in Michael's old
films.
house.
Buster Rhymes.
yeah. Buster Rhymes and Tyra Banks set up a reality show on the internet, 2002 era internet, where it's people spending the night in Michael's childhood home.
God, Resurrections might be the worst one.
Oh, it's so bad, but I love it. I love bad horror movies.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot to say who might like this. If you like bad horror movies,
No. If you like big boys.
you like. I mean, if you like big boys and horror movies, watch Friday the 13th.
I mean, just watch Jason X.
You talk about Jason X, where he becomes Uber Jason.
Jason X was my favorite Friday the 13th.
Uber Jason.
Ooh, Jason.
Jason in space.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah.
Future.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Oh,
Also,
God.
Daddy Cronenberg has a cameo.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, you're
Wait.
lucky I didn't entirely jump down your throat for this one.
Guys,
Yes, Jake.
the basement wasn't locked.
What?
It's
What?
been unlocked this entire time.
Oh, for God's sake. This
What?
grave robber's a fucking arsehole.
God damn it. We
Right.
could have left.
I'm going.
Watch those Rob
No.
Zombie ones.
I'm going. I
We
need to
could
go.
have
I need
not
to.
been in Illinois.
I need to go find a fucking flight home.
Good luck.
Catch you later, guys.
I need to get a ride up to Ontario.
I have to figure out where I am.